Thanks so much for joining me for the next session of Dr. Plosker's Mind. Since last time, I've been back and forth to Europe, particularly Paris and environs. I've not been a regular international traveler. This trip was to celebrate an anniversary, a landmark anniversary a year later. Um, my wife and I engaged a tour. There are things you can do with a tour and a guide that greatly enhance what inexperienced people like me can do on our own, as much as I like puttering around different neighborhoods wherever I am. Uh, Even simple stuff like going to an art museum sparkles when you have somebody experienced at looking at the art or knows where the key pieces are, tell you what makes them special. In addition to the places that people uh, find alluring as tourists, the Eiffel Tower, the museums, Versailles, and for me, uh, Giverny, where Claude Monet lived. You also get to see things that are a little special that give you some insight. I didn't see any stray cats. It took a few days to see city pigeons. I also didn't see any lawns, Walmarts, men wearing ties to work, other than some security people who worked for the hotel. The streets were very crowded with cars, and it was unruly. They had had some terrorist incidents. In America, we have a few mass shootings that, um, tragic as they are usually done by lone wolves who have an axe to grind rather than designed to make a political statement for a larger organization. Not so in France. We visited on our Jewish tour a restaurant, or what the building that once housed the restaurant, called Golden Burgers, which has a plaque in front indicating a Lebanese terrorist attack many years ago with a considerable number of casualties. In America, we got news reports of Charlie Hebdo, again receiving considerable attention in America because the attack was targeting Jews. What didn't get as much publicity but got a very large French response was a stadium bombing. As a consequence, their gun laws are very different. Citizens do not get open carry. They do not get automatic weapons at all. But the gendarmes and the military have open carry of machine guns, even in places like museum entrances. A little bit different than here, and they do this without a whole lot of protest. Uh, the schools, those open prior to 1945, are required by law to have a plaque The plaque is made of granite. It's posted on the outside near the main entrance and says, "From this school, whatever number of students were deported by the Germans because they were born Jewish." So the French eventually became sensitive to their rather unsavory role in World War II. They make atonement, I think, certainly to my satisfaction. In America, we don't have plaques on schools built prior to 1954 saying up until this year black children were not admitted to this building. That we don't have. The French do have some recognition of their shortcomings, but that law took about 50 years to come into being. They live a little differently than us. Their condos cost about what a suburban house in America costs. They eat lunch. I don't eat lunch. In fact, on the tour, one of my criticisms was that the lunch break was too long. I'm not about to hang out in a cafe for an hour. It's just not what I do. But apparently, when you were there, you were also there to live part of their lifestyle. I took a trip on the Seine, saw some interesting and pleasant sights, a good place for an overview, and not terribly expensive. I had my time separated from the tour. One day the tour went to Normandy. I did not want to leave my hotel room at 7:15 and get back at 9 p.m. I'd rather have the day to myself. There are also some frustrations as a traveler. My cell phone was locked when I put in the new SIM card, and my cell phone carrier could not get it unlocked. So I was the only one on the tour who effectively did not have a cell phone connected to the internet or to a telephone system. My cell phone did function as a camera, allowing me some pretty good pictures. The camera that I bought for the trip, a cheapy Chinese one from Walmart, was more trouble than it's worth, and I stopped using it. Eventually, I got home. I did a lot of walking, many more steps on my step tracker than I do at home. People living differently and being able to observe that is really the essence of travel. It's more obvious with foreign travel, but I must say the people in San Francisco, where I visited over the summer, and the people in Florida, where I visited last winter, are definitely different than me. The travel does not have to be of enormous distance to pick out the variations in how people live. So I will continue to try to do that in a more economical, less strenuous way. Thanks so much for joining me. I look forward to the next edition of Dr. Plotzker's Mind.